what it's doing, we're living in a society now where it's all Instagram, it's all body beautiful, it's all perfection. Young people are all suffering from chronic anxiety because they're constantly worried about how they look, how many likes they get. It's all about image and whatever.
I do think it would be interesting, but there's nothing to say that the good-looking people in Love Island are not intelligent.
Well, we know how thick they are. I've just played a clip with one.
Well, yeah, there is
who thinks
some.
that you can't get on Love Island if you're a minger, can you?
Well,
quote the...
But what is a minger?
Well,
That's for you to say.
Well, these
What's
aren't my
good-looking?
phrases. Minger is a word that the Love Island idiots use all day long, right?
No, they don't. I've never
It's a
seen the word
derogatory
minger
term.
used on Love
It's a
Island.
derogatory term for ugly people.
Factually, it's not a well-rounded cast. It is people that look better than the average.
Well, I've not had any surgery done, I've not had anything done, and I've still been able to find myself a boyfriend, I've still been successful, so you don't have to have these things and go on Love Island to find love. You definitely don't.
You're a beauty queen. Of course you found a boyfriend.
Not necessarily.
You make it sound like an amazing miracle.
You know...
It's just a bunch of...
Piers, have you ever watched an actual episode? Like
Yes.
a whole episode from beginning to end?
I made myself watch it.
You need to watch more than one,
It's
because
a bunch
it's a slow
of
burner. It's like the
absolute
Archers.
cretins
You need
trying
to
to get
allow characters to
publicity,
settle.
and they're just trying to have sex with as many people as they can.
Nobody.
in the shortest possible
Absolutely
time.
untrue.
Nobody has had sex yet. On the point about size 8 models, I don't think it shows that you can only have a relationship if you're a size 8 model, because it's not as if they're choosing between size 8 and
They're all
other
hot.
size
There's
women.
no uglies allowed,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Where's
because
that, how's that empowering?
So they're easy.
The point is, it's celebrating stupidity.
Haley showed
Let's
quite
go,
a lot of power last
Let's take a look at Niall.
Right,
Niall is my favourite of all these wastrels.
And Adam, who is symptomatic of toxic masculinity. And that in itself, by the way, is very interesting to have on prime-time reality television, because that prompts a whole conversation on Twitter that one wouldn't have otherwise.
Well, these poor women are being preyed upon by these awful men.
It's interesting how someone like Niall is able
All
to
women who've
express
gone into a
his
show called Love Island to have sex with random strangers
It's
are
not about
apparently,
sex.
apparently
Lose the
victims
title.
now. Victims of toxic masculinity.
It's
what
not
a load
sex
of flannel.
island. It's not...
Let's just be serious about this. I mean, my argument about veganuary is that every month now has to be something, right? We're all getting terrorised into, you've got to be dry in January, you've got to be vegan. If people want to do this, get on with it quietly, do whatever you want to do.
Small steps. It's someone is saying, let me have 1 or 2 more fruit and vegetables today. Or maybe let me have 1 or 2 vegetarian or vegan meals. That's much more realistic for the
Here's
majority
my
of
issue. The
people.
police in Wales, right, posted a picture of themselves eating a cooked breakfast, right? Rather like the one we got on the table here. We got it there? So this is the police in Wales, right? Just tucking into a nice breakfast, right?
You did make the argument that if you're not prepared to kill the animals yourselves, you shouldn't be eating them. But presumably you're not going out and collecting your own nuts and seeds and plants, are you?
No, and so I think...
Who's killing those plants for you? Seriously? Who's killing all those plants?
Well, who's collecting them? Because you make the point
Someone's
about
ripping them out of the ground and
I
killing
agree.
them.
So I think it's really important
There's
to say...
mass murder of plants going on.
Well,
to
quite
feed you.
apart from the mass murder, it's about the collecting and the labour. And if you're going to make that point, you're also going to be hypocritical unless you're not going to collect
does not give you a moral high ground of a...
You like murdering plants and trees. I never knew.
I like
eating
moderation.
meat.
The moderation game.
No, I like eating meat because the best animals in the jungle eat meat. Lions. How many of you eat bread? A serious question.
Yeah, we all eat bread.
You all eat bread. So you're aware that how bread gets made, right?
Yeah.
Wheat crops and all that kind of thing. Ladybirds, bugs, things. Mice, rats, all these other little creatures that are in the crop, they get destroyed in the production of wheat crops, right? So that you guys can munch your bread. Tell me the difference, ideologically, between me wanting a Christmas turkey, right, and you guys eating bread, which you know involves the slaughter of millions of young critters.
What we need to realise is the intent behind it. Nobody's intending to kill insects necessarily for us to eat bread. However, when you're eating a steak or whatever, the intent is very much there. You're deliberately killing that animal.
No, but hang on. Now, when I eat a steak, I know that the preparation of that steak involved the killing of an animal.
Sure.
When they eat their bread...
Me too.
Wait a sec. It's come to Ashley. When you eat your bread, right, you know, because you've all just admitted this, that when you eat your bread, you know it involves the slaughter of animals. To me, there's absolutely no ideological difference between my decision-making when I eat my steak and yours when you eat your bread. I want you to tell me the difference.
You wouldn't leave our house because every time we walk, you could be, for example, stepping on an ant.
But that's the problem with being a vegan.
I could be sitting on an ant right now.
Right.
You know,
right.
But we can't. There's certain things you cannot help.
Are you wearing leather shoes?
No, I'm not wearing leather shoes.
Any leather at all?
No, I deliberately do buy.
You never wear any leather. Here's my issue about the vegan thing, right? I've got no problem with anyone being vegan whatsoever, right? I believe absolutely in a right to choice when it comes to food, smoking, drinking, whatever you are. I don't believe in nanny state, right? What I have a real problem with is radical vegans storming into supermarkets like these three did with their mates, right? Terrorising old people doing their shopping for Christmas, right? Young kids trying to go around with their mums and dads in supermarkets, marching into steakhouses. My problem is this kind of activism actually just does the opposite effect to what they think it does. It doesn't encourage people to be vegans. It has the opposite effect. It annoys everyone and wants me to want to eat more meat as a protest against them.
Yeah, I think I share and understand their pain.
So you could
your families eat meat.
That's irrelevant.
Hang on. Do your parents eat meat? I don't know if your parents are also alive. Sorry for I'm assuming they are. Do your parents all? Hang on. Let me ask a question. Do your parents all eat meat?
I think it's not important.
Yes or no?
I think that what we need to be focusing on is the animal rights.
Even if you say yes, it's fine.
Hang on. You keep out of it.
Yes, it's fine.
Do your parents all eat meat?
My mother doesn't. The changes are happening.
Your parents eat meat?
More and more people are waking out.
No. Do any of your parents eat meat?
It's certainly...
Do any of your parents eat meat? What happens in the jungle? In the jungle, animals eat other animals to stay alive, right? Well, actually, we're doing the same thing as animals do in a jungle. We are eating to survive, right?
If you're comparing people to animals, that means you can almost compare everything.
We are animals.
No. OK, so what? Ducks rape other ducks. So he's suggesting that's what we should do as well? Not at all. So you can't compare animal behaviour, every single aspect of animal behaviour.
In the jungle, animals eat other animals to survive, right? Human beings eat other animals to survive.
This is not about our survival, because we can survive on a vegan diet, which is evidenced by all of us.
Catholic Church.
But that means you oppose... I mean, I'm a Catholic, but I actually don't agree with the Catholic Church.
Well, that's fair enough.
You do?
I support the teaching of the Catholic Church.
So you oppose same-sex marriage? Why are you afraid to say you oppose it?
Oh, the teaching of the Catholic Church is completely clear.
So you've just not hidden, but you've used...
No, I haven't.
No, I'm going to rephrase that. You have used your Catholic belief to, rather than say you oppose same-sex marriage, say you support the Catholic Church's teaching of that. The Catholic Church... The Catholic Church believes that gay sex is a sin. So I don't think it's unreasonable to ask you, as indeed Tim Farron was asked, and it caused him a lot of damage, just a straight question, whether you think it's a sin.
I think I've answered the straight question, that is, that the teaching of the Church in matters of faith and morals is authoritative, but it is equally within the teaching of the Church that it is not for me to judge others.
Are you completely opposed to abortion in all circumstances?
Yes, I am.
Rape and incest?
Sexual violence?
I'm afraid so.
Really?
Life is sacrosanct and begins at the point of conception. And I think it is wrong.
So if a woman is raped, say you were Prime Minister, and a woman is raped by a family member, right? You would say she had absolutely no right to have that baby aborted?
No, she would have a right under UK law.
Yeah, but you wouldn't agree with that right?
But that law is not going to change.
No, but what's your personal opinion?
My personal opinion is that life begins at the point of conception and abortion is morally indefensible.
You would make her have that baby?
Well, I wouldn't, because that wouldn't be the law
No, I
of the land.
understand that.
From a trailer in
So
Mississippi.
she is dangerously overweight, isn't she? For a 5'3" woman to be 300 pounds is actually dangerous. Do you not accept that?
Let me just finish.
Do you accept that?
Do I accept what?
That a 300-pound woman at 5'3" is dangerously overweight.
When I put people on my cover, I don't ask them to do a blood analysis.
No, but do you think that is healthy or dangerous?
I'm not here to pass judgment. I see her...
I'm asking you to pass judgment.
I don't. I see her run around with her children. I see her move. She's a model.
And you, as the editor of Cosmo, have put this cover on every newsstand in the country.
You know what else is dangerous, Piers? Is that we have a crisis with mental health and people feeling terrible about body image. Are people going to look at that and go, do you know what? I'm now going to go mainline donuts. This is what I want for my life. Of course they're not. It's patronising.
How do you know?
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
You're making
and I
this
don't
look
believe
like
you think that.
You
I
are
do not believe you think
celebrating.
that.
You are
I'm
celebrating
her.
morbid obesity.
I am not celebrating
That's what you're
morbid
doing.
obesity.
You want to sort of look at this and go, and you're doing it for clickbaits. You're doing it to be on TV. You're doing it to get Cosmo talked about.
Absolutely
tick,
not.
Tick, tick.
Absolutely not.
A doctor will tell you that morbid obesity is as dangerous as drugs or alcohol. They will.
She's killing herself.
Why are you saying
And also, fat people lie constantly.
What I think this does is says we do not all look like Cosmo cover girls.
We know that.
And
but
we don't see it, Piers.
People
can't
so
this isn't
people aren't
You see 100 body images in 10 minutes walking down White City. I think as a responsible magazine editor of a magazine read by a lot of impressionable young women, at some part of that interview, you as the editor should have indicated this is not a healthy body weight to be. She might be happy with it. She's making millions of dollars.
I don't think that has to be
fueled
spelled
and helped
out.
by editors like you, who are giving her all this exposure and publicity. But should you not, as a responsible editor, somewhere in your piece, have just at least suggested this is not a healthy body weight?
I am a journalist. I put the information out there. I'm not here to pass judgment on anyone, and I never have been. And as a journalist, you know that
passes
is not,
judgment on people every single page. What are you talking about?
Don't be ridiculous.
There's nothing you do other than pass judgment on people.
You clearly haven't read a magazine or this magazine in a very long time.
I've read Cosmo for donkey's years.
Have you been reading this one regularly? I really don't think
The male model and the nerd. You're passing judgment on the nerd?
I think
Who's
also
nerd?
here, what we're talking about
Who is this guy you called a nerd?
She is
We
an
don't pass
extreme-
judgment apart from
she's
the
an
nerd.
extreme-